Hello again, Gundam fans. Today we have a Gashapon Senshi Forte, and then this EX03. So that was the Queen Mansa, and it came out in 2018. Just saying, there's a separate sticker there. And that's what you're going to get in the box, apparently. Hopefully. Is Gashapon.jp. Okay. This might actually be new. It's all taped together still. So I already spoke about this robot before when I did the Converge video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But it was in Double Zeta, which is still probably my favorite Gundam animation. I haven't seen every Gundam though. I liked it because it was funny. There's some funny parts in it, whereas most other Gundams are just depressing. Everyone just dies. And everyone pretty much died in this almost. Actually, not everyone. I think a lot of people lived in this one. Just trying out some new scissors here. Yeah, they do work. Really cheap. I think they're like $1 off AliExpress. Alright, so this looks like the base. And some beam sabers ignited. Nice clear plastic. You gotta be really careful to make sure to get all the parts out of these bags. Very often in my videos, I miss something. There's a lot of baggies here. I'm careful not to cut through the antenna. Other parts really. Looks like the frame. Alright, maybe these scissors are too small. Hold on. Alright, one last bag. And you'll notice these have cardboard pieces to protect the tips from being bent, I guess. Something about these bags. These are the third pair of scissors I've tried, and these are brand new scissors, but these bags are really hard to cut for some reason. They're really stretchy. Alright. Oh, it's because these are rigid plastic. I thought they were going to be like PVC. Oh, I don't know. That's kind of a rigid feeling. So that's unfortunate. I was really hoping they were flexible plastic. So look at these instructions here. Some frame instructions. I did review the Nightingale already, by the way, and then same old instructions here. Okay, this looks like it's pretty important. Maybe right, front, left. I'll have to figure that out. Alright, so now if you don't want this stuff to have all these stress marks, let me you probably don't want to just rip these out. So I like to use little hobby clippers here. These Rui tools. If you put something on the grips, I think they work pretty well, and they're not too expensive. You know, you probably don't want to watch me do this. Let me come back. Alright, so I've already assembled most of one side, but I'll show you the other side first. But let's get this stand out of the way because we're going to need it after I assemble it. So I don't think there's a left or right here. This just goes in any way you want. It's got the Zeonic logo. Looks pretty nice, actually. Alright, so let's see. Let's put the head together. So the head itself, it's got these nice translucent purplish, pinkish eyes. The black is on the outside, but that's a clear piece of plastic, it looks like. And then this little antenna thing is already painted yellowish. But yeah, I do wonder if that's rigid plastic or not. It definitely doesn't feel soft. And it's kind of like muted in its color. You know, if this thing was painted, it would look better. For some reason, it looks kind of cheap because it's not painted. Yeah, unlike Converge. So this neck thing here, I don't know which way. I think the peg goes to the front. Oh man. Actually, you might want to put this neck thing on before the antenna. I think you're going to break the antenna off trying to get this neck peg on. So, just in case. Alright, so there's really not much articulation either, considering, right? Only a little bit. Alright, so here's the chest. We got to pull this apart. Alright, so there's some ribbing detail there, the yellow of the cockpit, I imagine. Some sort of weapons painted white and red on the back. Some molded details, but no painted details. The hoses aren't painted or anything like that. Anyways, you can see that peg hole for the neck piece slides right in nicely. And this thing goes back on, like so, hopefully. Pretty tight seam, not so bad, but could definitely go for some paint though. Okay, so now we have the bottom piece here. We gotta jam up this crotch thing in here, and I don't think there's a front or back. It looks pretty symmetric. So let's just do that. And on the bottom of this, there's a separate piece with these louvers. Interesting. But this is all pretty plain back here. Only a very few grooves. Alright, so now you can see this has like a offset, so that's gonna, once you get it up in there, it won't fall apart very easily. Alright, much easier put together than the smaller sized Senshis. Those things are a pain. Alright, so now this thing here, this is the binder slash shoulder piece. So they are labeled, and there is separate labeling for the left and the right side, but I already did it on the other side. So it says FL, and over here RL with the peg facing us here. Okay, so now the shoulder piece, that's what these things slide into. You see all those holes for these things. So it's a pretty secure fit. And once you get it in there, come on. Oh boy. That piece for some reason maybe went in at an angle, wrong angle. The other side was much easier. Not sure why. Well, alright, eventually just wiggle it in there. Alright, so it's pretty flush, pretty nice. And then this is going to be a hex piece here for that goes into the torso. And you want to have the tooth up top. Alright, so that's that. And then you can see here there's a corresponding tooth peg slot or whatever opening for that to go into. Alright, so that's that. Let's continue this. So this binder here, you can actually store the beam saber handle if you want here. Maybe I'll do that for this one. This is definitely rigid plastic. You can just hear it, right? It's nice that this is painted. It's just, it looks cheap. And also how they just tore it off the molding runner. That doesn't look so good either. No extra paint on the outside. Like, I'd rather have it on the outside than the inside myself, but... So this thing can pivot like so. Okay, so okay, very good. But you know what, that's probably gonna get in the way for now. So we gotta jam the good old joint here, and you can see how that green is curved to match this a little bit. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Well, let's just continue on. This side it's marked L. There's L and R on most of the pieces. So, see how that has that ridge? Getting it on is a real pain, but once it's on, I don't think it's ever going to come off by accident. So I guess it's good that it's annoying the first time. Boy, it might be easier to do this off the torso. Oh, maybe I didn't put that in. Hold on. I'm a moron. I gotta go like this. Alright, I think that's in there. So I don't think that's ever gonna there's no way that's gonna fall out, which is good. Alright. And then, I guess we'll put a fist here. That even has a little ridge on it also. You know what, since I stored the beam saber handle, I'm gonna have the open hand here. It's a little hollowed out. Okay, so there we go. So now the legs here, we have an equal sided peg here, so it doesn't matter which way you put it in. It's kind of hard to put in again. So you might want to just jam it right down onto the foot. There, that's an easier way to get it on there. The bottom of the foot has pretty decent detail, looks like. It looks like a separate piece again to get in there. Little vent details, thruster details. I like how this thing's got more paint on it. Alright, so then that's going to go around the ball of the hip. Okay. Now it looks like we have a rear skirt piece, or I guess back piece. And it must go in like this. Interesting. It's got like a whole carapace or whatever, shield for the back of the head. But unfortunately, no paint again. I feel for an EX, you know, they should go all out and paint the thing, right? It's like only painting the front seems kind of cheap. Alright, so that. And then I already got the other side assembled, so let's just pop that there. One thing I like is these things will not fall apart like the cross silhouette frames, because this ball is cupped by the soft plastic of the hip, so it won't just fall off. These little Gashapon Senshi seemed better designed than the cross silhouette model kits, which makes no sense to me. Like, a model kit should be better designed, I think, but nope, it's not the case. Now this one I'm going to just have it holding the beam saber, so there you go. Probably want to, it's pretty nicely detailed, the handle, but obviously you got that peg there. But if you just pose it, that peg backwards, it's not so bad. Alright, so standing wise, it's not an issue because the feet are so big. And as you can see, the binders can go up quite a bit. You could also rotate that on the peg to go backwards. That's kind of weird looking. Or forwards, perhaps. Yeah. Alright, so anyways, you can obviously pose those in different ways. The shoulders here, you know, they can go up in and out, and then obviously you can rotate it around because there's a peg. And then the forearm here, it's just a hinge, as you saw. Actual bending is like straight here before it collides, and then the actual bending of the forearm, not so great. There's a lot of friction going on in there. It's only like 45 degrees, it looks like. That's as far as I can get it there. Well, anyways, this is a really, really deformed Gundam, so. And then the fight stand. So we have that peg hole on the bottom of the crotch. Pretty tight, decent fit. So now we can pose this, that back piece. And then the head, only a little bit of angling, as you saw, front, back. It's a ball peg, so. Oh, look at that. That hand fell out pretty easily. I kind of feel like actually this forearm should have been a little longer. I trimmed off these things pretty well, but I almost feel like these two gray pieces are colliding. You know, the elbow joint and this hand. I don't know if there's enough green. See? It's like gappy, right? So I guess if that bothers you, you might want to actually trim off more of this thing. I'm going to just leave it alone for now. This thing fell off pretty easily. So there we go. Comparison time. So the Converge is simply superior, of course, because it's painted. Not because of its size, but because it's painted. Granted, I customized this with a bunch of jewels and decals, but there's now a core release of this thing that has a bunch of tampo printed graphics on it. So, you know, you can buy the core one and it'll look pretty nice. But yeah, you see how this looks like all shiny and cheap, whereas this is all matte finished and nice. So that's but I'm pretty sure this must have cost a lot more new than this when it was new. Okay, a normal size Gundam Senshi kind of thing here. I don't have a double Zeta. This is an RX-78 GP01. So it's definitely an extra sized, figure. So the EX makes perfect sense to me. And let me show off the two other EXs. The Psycho Gundam, I think this is my favorite one from the whole line of Gashapon Senshis. I added a whole bunch of neon paint to that one. Even though the Nightingale is my favorite, I think I like that Psycho more. What I don't understand is why is this Nightingale so small? I thought the Nightingale was supposed to be a really big robot, but maybe the Psycho is bigger. Or the Queen Mansa, I don't know. So anyways, those are 3 EXs and 1 normal one. And for some reason the normal one, it looks like it's better for some reason. It doesn't look as plasticky. In fact, all the other 3 don't look as plasticky. The Nightingale still looks pretty bad. But this Psycho looks like it may have been painted, or something about the black plastic just, it doesn't catch the light so much, so it looks like dense material. But this green one, being so light colored, it looks almost translucent for some reason. Alright, well anyways, obviously we're not going to change anything that Bandai does on something that's already been released several years ago. Hopefully in the future though, they will start painting them more. I'm actually surprised they don't come out with like core releases of these things. Like this thing painted with a lot of details like Converge does with the core line. That's something that actually might possibly get me to buy it again. Well, anyways, I guess that's it for today. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next Gashapon Senshi video. Bye.